Alright everyone, Eurovision's semi-final one has just taken place and let's analyze how it all went, quick comments on each country and who surprised us really, who let us down vocally or visually, what about the camera work, lights, everything, and are you guys happy with the overall results? Now here are the countries that qualified to the grand final. We have Norway, Serbia, Portugal, Croatia, Switzerland, Israel, Moldova, Sweden, Czechia and Finland. Those are your 10 qualifiers going to the grand final, which we'll all see on Saturday, May the 13th. Now, oh my God, first of all, what a strong semi. I have to say that there are no doubts that this is the strongest semi. And one thing that surprised me a lot is that while the jury were not there, jury would usually go with a certain kind of yes, no, yes, no, yes, yes, no, 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 yes, in the running order as to who passes to the final. But people didn't care, about that. People didn't think block-wise. People didn't think so geographically, I think. One thing that a jury is really usually blamed for is being more political and geographical than people who simply say like, hey, I just like the song, I like this charismatic singer, I'm gonna vote for him. So what happened in the first semi is that there is a block of 5, if I'm not mistaken, countries: Croatia, Switzerland, Israel, Moldova, Sweden. Yes, 5 countries in a row which all passed to the final, including also countries which were a bit under the question, which are Moldova for many, even though not for me, and maybe Switzerland was not everybody's expected winner of semi-final one. I mean, not winner, but qualifier. Now, things that surprised me or things that we need to discuss. Now, let's start with Norway. Our diva, Alessandra, well, definitely was nervous while she was performing first because she was opening the show, and that responsibility is always high. The pressure is always high. I believe Alessandra could have done just a little bit better in terms of attitude. Vocals were fine, even though she could have, put a little bit more effort into certain notes. However, probably attitude was a little bit lacking maybe this time for me. Something was a bit underwhelming at the end of the performance. It's like by the middle of it you already knew like what's gonna happen, and the ending vocally to this track is very strong. The last piece, the melodic piece is really, really nice. There is like a culmination. However, on stage, there wasn't anything that could accompany this, like this going up and rising to the end, this last note. No fireworks, not even a close take into her face where she would be like, I'm the queen. Take it or leave it, Queen of Kings. Instead, they showed her like as a small, tiny creature on a bigger stage. Now, I'm not happy with the camera work here. I'm not happy with the solution as to how to show the ending of the track. I think the very end of it was pretty much, okay, next track. Overall, I didn't think this would be forgotten, and I just wish that Alessandra came a little bit further in the semi. But being the first in the semi usually means not being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the running order of the grand final. And now that we know that Norway is performing in the second half of the grand final, she deserves to be performing in the second half. Our queen will slay and will definitely take a lot of televoters' vote. Malta is unfortunately out. That was pretty much expected on all fronts, and no surprises here for me. But Malta did everything it possibly could. Stage-wise, they went nuts, with jumping on stage. The vocalist was doing a bit of an Elvis dance, which I personally enjoyed, even though he's not a dancer, you could see that. At the end, he did the slide on his knees like a professional footballer. I personally love that. That was a lovely touch, to kind of like try every centimeter of the stage and try to show your best. Let's move on to Serbia. Serbia passed to the final. Big congrats. Although Luke Black was vocally weak, very, very weak in the semi, and he performed much better in the national selection in Serbia itself. And now something just like, I think it's just his nerves. Then many complained that the sound was heard much louder than his voice. I think actually that served him better because there was almost no voice. There was just whispering and all kinds of exasperating and losing, breath. I think Luke wasn't in his best, kind of calm and composed yoga state. Yeah, our guy was nervous, but all the luck to Luke Black in the final. Visually it's quite something to behold, more of a kind of computer world, PlayStation dimension, which he transforms us into. Now, next one, Latvia performed. Latvia didn't pass to the final. I mean, there are no surprises, are there? I'm actually surprised that very few days before the semi, there were so many comments like, Latvia, I hope Latvia should pass, press talking about but please, Latvia is such a great song. This is not a Eurovision song. I'm sorry, guys. It doesn't mean that Eurovision is only one genre, no. But if you want your song to be remembered, there must be certain development. There must be certain ups and downs, some culmination, some drops, some unexpected moments. This was just so static and nice visually, not memorable at all, unfortunately, because of the lights of this the light work, which was the opposite way, shining brightly into your face instead of the stage, instead of the artist. You were blinded for most of the performance, the viewer couldn't even see much. He saw only most of the time. I didn't enjoy the staging, neither in the national selection nor in the final. Vocally, they're always fine. They're singing confidently, and just I hope they got a lot of fun on Eurovision stage. I hope they enjoy every moment of it. And good luck to Latvia in Eurovision 2024. Now, the next one to perform was Portugal, and suddenly camera work started being very on point. Now that there was no sofa and it was all concentrated on this red cake dresses and dancing a cabaret kind of folky style, a bit of a gypsy feel, that worked for Portugal so well. You could hear the screaming audience, you could hear how the camera work was doing its job right. That's exactly how it was supposed to be in many other performers as well. EBU, BBC, please make it right for the final. Please do not take so many far away takes off the stage. Yeah, we know you want to show us the stage is beautiful and everything and lights, but for the most part, apart from Portugal, we haven't seen enough of the artist and artist's face and artist's moves and artist's, wrists, hands, fingers, enough, we haven't seen so many close takes, so many close-ups. Please fix that for the final, please. Yeah, Portugal definitely had the right takes. They had the right staging. They put an accent on this attitude, mood, all kinds of smiles, sexy, playing, working. Worked perfectly for them. Next one was Ireland. Ireland didn't pass, and there is no question why. The guy was awkward on stage. He was barely singing. He relied a lot on the backing vocals, on the backs. Like color-wise, this just doesn't work. This doesn't work for the song. It could work maybe for Eleni Ferreira and Fuego, but it wouldn't work for Ireland. This is more of a Coldplay kind of band. This is more about the mood rather than dressing up in all gold and looking like a Rolex watch. And just the vocalist looked so awkward to me on stage with the way he moves. I'm sorry, this looked just a bit too awkward with all his backwards and forward movements on stage, which are so far from smooth and kind of natural body moves that they made me smile and laugh at every moment. So moving on to Croatia, nothing musically wow there. Obviously, there was a lot of accent on the background videos, visuals. To me, they're so distracting, they're so multicolored that I personally just feel like it's a cacophony of everything, sound, visuals, and outfits. However, even though it's like nobody's number one favorite song, it still has an artistic kind of epotage feel to it, and it went through. I mean, expectedly for me. No surprises. Vocally doesn't stand out, musically neither, visually it's not a treat to my eyes at least, but there is always something freaky like that passing to the final, and people obviously catch the political message behind it. I just doubt whether such political songs should be in Eurovision altogether, but well, what's decided is decided. And of course, many countries were simply supporting the act from the nearby state. Let's move on to Switzerland. what a surprise for many, but not for me. I don't know. Guys, I don't understand. I had been a big fan of Remo Ferrer from the very beginning. I've made a reaction about him and I saw very little activity on it, on any reaction of Remo Ferrer, of any blogger. And I thought, what's wrong? Why are people, not reacting to this wonderful ballad? This is so personal. This is so well performed. The guy is running across the stage and then sitting down, and his vocals are unshakable. He can do it, like nail it. Oh my god. And he's just super likable, super charismatic. I saw from the reaction of people who saw it for the first time last night, people were like, whoa, the first normal song. That's what my friend said. First normal song in the semi-final. And I probably can agree with that, It's the first ballad that stands out. It's the first one that shows the real capacity, the real ability, vocal, ability of the singer, who is also accompanied by these beautiful contemporary dancers. I have nothing against contemporary dancers. I'm a contemporary dancer myself. And we did a choreo to this song with my choreographer, actually, and I was so surprised. Actually, I was delighted to see that the choreography on stage was in a way similar to the one that we have made up, that my choreographer decided to go for. It's really like you can feel it. I feel the song in the same way as Remo Ferrer. I feel the same kind of stretches. I feel the same kind of drops. This playing with the ropes and sort of being tied in the center of the stage really worked for me. And wow, what a stylish looking guy with stylish silver shiny pants, looking like, I don't know, vinyl latex, whatnot. Next to perform was Israel. Oh wow, our girl was the bomb of Eurovision 2023. I mean, let's be critical and say it for real. She's not a great singer. She can sing. The voice is relatively stable, I would say, for all the moves that she's making. However, it wasn't, like vocally something outstanding. It's not, Remo Ferrer of Switzerland or Alessandra of Norway. She could have sung a little bit stronger. She could have sung a little bit cleaner. You could see that it's not something that singles her out. What singles her out is obviously her performance skills, her staging. It felt like we are watching some MTV ceremony or something. It was amazing in terms of staging. I don't think people were very critical or listening too much to, did she hit the right note or not. But she slayed visually and dance-wise. When the dance break comes in, oh my god, this wonderful. I mean, this is going to be so remembered. Israel has made its best probably attempt in, I wouldn't say in years, because we also had Netta Stoy, and almost every year Israel puts so much into production, into the staging, and to making it memorable. Wow, like the country really couldn't care more for, couldn't care more about making it count in Eurovision. So totally deserved, absolutely yes, and totally memorable. In fact, I was a little bit afraid that after Israel there is Moldovan performance, and Moldova has this really atmospheric, and medieval / pagan kind of feel, and will they shoot out as strongly or not? Well, it was maybe a little bit, just a little less powerful after Israel, but Moldova still did a great job, and even though it was very much sandwiched between Israel, unfortunately, and Sweden, and to perform between those two, and also after obviously Croatia and Switzerland, who are potential qualifiers who were predicted to qualify, it was actually quite a dangerous slot for Moldova to perform. It did great, everything came together. It's like pieces of puzzle, and they were totally together. The dancers, the antlers, the midget with the flute or whatever that is, with the folky style, this whole pagan feel. We were very happy that compared to the rehearsal the day before, Pasha Parfeni put his hair into a tight bun. that really gave him more of a kind of, you know, oldish look. He's not that old, in fact, but he produces this kind of a mature, kind of, I don't know, folk singer with tons of experience. In fact, this is just an experimental type of thing for him as well. And his previous submission to Eurovision was a pop song called Lauter, which also did great in the final and made it to top 10. Now, I do not believe that Moldova will end up top 10 in the final, but it will do great. I think it will get a well-deserved spot also in the final. All right, and next was our Queen of Eurovision. That is, of course, Sweden, Loreen, or Loreen in Swedish pronunciation. Now, she was totally on point vocally. There were a couple of moments when she was like crawling on her knees, when she was a bit, you know, the vocals were a bit shaken. But it doesn't mean that, you know, the whole performance didn't stand out. Oh my God, it stood out, yeah? Vocally, you can see when the previous singers go like, do you wanna dance? And then our Loreen comes to stage and she goes like, she's really just the power, you know, power, vocal power, visual power as well. I would just prefer it to be a little bit more colorful. Sorry, do not hate me for this comment, please, but I want a little bit more color to the performance. Of course, there isn't anything to be changed by the final right now. And the props that she was performing on, I mean, this cube that is getting lifted up, the upper part of it is just so small. In the national selection, it was much bigger. It felt like she was lifting up the skies like a titan. Like, yeah. This time it felt more like I'm in a Rubik's Cube and I'm just taking the lid and lifting it up, so to say. But it still doesn't mean that people who hadn't seen her performance before will not appreciate it. I mean, they will, and jury will definitely put it as their favorite. I don't even doubt that. I think it will be jury's #1 for sure, just like Spain will be great with juries, just like obviously France will be great with juries. It will do great in the final, no doubts about that. I think now it all comes down to who comes when in the running order, because that influences a lot. And Sweden, just like Finland, have drawn the paper saying they'll be performing in the first half of the grand final. How do you guys feel about that? Huh? Is somebody gonna suffer? Gonna be kind of killed by EBU by being placed too early? I hope not, but let's keep our fingers crossed. Now, Azerbaijan didn't pass, didn't have any chances to pass, and didn't impress much. Vocals were on point. They were performing much better in the rehearsals before. They were definitely in unison this time and made this great harmony. Vocal harmony was on point. But sorry, toilet break. Moving on to Czechia. Now, it passed. However, I don't think it was that high in people's televotes. Yeah, when we see the points after the grand final, we'll see which place they took of these 10 qualifiers. First of all, the camera takes. What happened? Yeah, like where were the close-ups? Where was this kind of rotation of the camera and everything? Cameras were concentrated a lot on the bigger picture and on having this kind of, you know, hands, whatever pieces, body parts on the background, yeah, the visuals. Why? Hard to say, because girls are already something to behold visually. Vocally, not a fan. I have never been a fan and I won't be, because it's like one girl is doing everybody else's job and the rest are more rather for rapping parts or for just overall feel of the crowd. I definitely think that vocally this is kind of a weaker, you know, vocals are a weaker spot of this. However, there are these parts when the girls are coming together, they are stretching their hands to the sky, they become like this, you know, like a union. It feels like they are the mamas of Eurovision, like back then in Sweden, our mamas, you know. It feels, yeah, very kind of united by the end of it, and I think that's what helped it pass. Not the pink outfits and not even the braids probably would be enough. It needed this kind of reunion moment. Moving on to Netherlands, vocally, they struggled, yeah. Just like it had been discussed before, the Netherlands really could have done much better. However, they did better than they had been expected to, and it was a very intimate dance performance, just performing after Czechia before Finland was also a bit hard. It's also a bit sandwiched, and I don't think it had many chances to pass in any case. The fact that they did a decent kind of vocal performance and didn't, just break down and screw it up and like leave it. Nobody believes in us anyway, and people criticize our vocals. No, they tried to do their best. You could see they were nervous. You could see they were like almost shaking, with nervousness and anxiety of such a massive volume, of what's going on. But I think you could overall praise the Netherlands for at least making it, and not giving up on it and just saying, yeah, screw it, whatnot. Now, Finland really was a great closer to the show. Now, I really hope they don't put it too early in the final. It might be that factor like, oh, okay, you performed last in the semi, so we'll put you like first or second or third or fourth in the final. And Finland is going to be in the first half of the final. And that can be, that's scary. Let's hope that they're not going to put Finland much earlier than Sweden. It's going to get down to that, guys. Sweden later will be more remembered. Finland later probably will win by televotes excessively and will beat even Loreen. But performance-wise, national performance had more beautiful takes from the side, from like closer look. Here it was again like too many like bigger picture visuals. Dancers didn't really stand out as much as in the national selection. They felt a bit more like tied to one kind of post instead of doing their cha-cha job beautifully. It really felt like, the beginning was awesome, guys. The box, him getting out of it, like breaking this box and kind of destroying everything, because in the song there is this expression aika tuhota, which means time to destroy, time to burn it all, and have a party. And that translates, it's not like so much interpretive, like in terms of lyrics, the performance, but it shows people the main idea that, hey, I'm in a box, I'm like shy, I don't know really how to behave in a crowd of people in a party. But then, hey, I drink a little, I become a little bit less shy, I'm ready to slay, single and ready to mingle. I love the shadows again, but the accents camera-wise were a little bit wrong. I hope they fix it by the final, and Finland will be like so proud of their performance. They already are, and they will be even more. This will be one of the most memorable Finnish performances ever. Love Kärjä. Vocally, he did his best. However, his best doesn't mean he is Iru of Georgia or Lazara of France. He isn't that a vocalist. Well, he doesn't have to be. He is more of a hip hopper rather than a vocalist. However, he really tried. He really put his soul and heart and energy and everything into it, and he gives it every time at every rehearsal. And that's what I appreciate about him. It's like his life suddenly changed from losing his job and not believing in his music skills and music future and career whatsoever, to suddenly going to Eurovision, winning UMK and becoming this sensation and being tweeted and TikToked and whatnot, and just simply getting closer every time to winning Eurovision. Oh my God, he says, I cannot believe it's like I'm living a dream, and let the dream go on for Finland and let it also happen for Sweden. Who are your favorites, guys, after this first semi-final? Who did you hope to pass but they didn't? And who did you actually predict to pass and they did? Are there any disappointments? Would you like certain results to be different? Is anybody really hurt in this semi-final? Drop me a comment and I'll see you in my future reactions and analysis. See you guys. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye!